I don't think it's controversial to say that Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of the best films in recent memory. I will, however, risk getting stabbed by a chopstick and say that the reason it's so well received is because the Asian elements are secondary to the plot. It's something other Asian-centric shows can learn from. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool that we live in a time when folks from different backgrounds can get their stories amplified by the most powerful entertainment industry in the world. But many of Hollywood's Asian-led productions don't have cross-cultural appeal because they're so focused on parading ethnic quirks and customs rather than telling a good story. Here's what I mean. Crazy Rich Asians was hailed as a milestone because it was a major Hollywood film that featured a cast, director, and writers who were mainly of Chinese descent. But what else did it have going for it? It's a run-of-the-mill romantic comedy whose main hook comes from seeing modern Chinese American values clash with traditional Chinese values. The same themes were covered 25 years ago in Joy Luck Club, the last major Western flick to feature a similar Chinese makeup. Crazy Rich Asians just has more shots that would make an Instagram financial guru proud. Plus, both movies are named after the most stereotyped Asian desires. Would it hurt to peel off one more layer? Crazy Rich Asians was never an indicator of better things to come for Asian American cinema because there's no Caucasian version of it. The last time Hollywood made a flick in which a wealthy white family got to enjoy their whiteness and riches without dealing with guilt, greed, and exploitation was in 1994's Richie Rich. That's why Crazy Rich Asians bombed at the box office, and they're not making a sequel. What? Alright, relax. 50 Shades of Grey made over $400 million. It's not a sign of quality. It's more than likely that CRA's success was a result of a strong marketing push and tons of press coverage about much needed Asian representation. My point still stands. Too many Asian American shows are too safe and complacent, and therefore have limited reach. Does every movie have to be for everyone? Of course not, but a quick search shows you just how narrow in scope and unimaginative these shows are. They tend to fall under one of three categories: comedy, drama, or romance, because these three genres are all you need if your characters won't be solving any crimes, finding a lost artifact, flying spaceships, or doing anything awesome. Cue Everything Everywhere All at Once. EO might be the first worthy Asian-led Hollywood blockbuster. It's got inventive action scenes, slick visual effects, a strong original narrative, and compelling characters who just happen to be Asian. Really, it's that last part that's key, isn't it? EO works so well precisely because you can replace the Wang family with the Nigerian family with all their Nigerian baggage, and it would still work. Because the whimsical sci-fi adventure story won't come apart if you remove the ethnic trappings. That's the mark of a quality flick. You make your characters resolve their cultural hang-ups between the dildo fight scenes. You don't make your cultural hang-ups the whole damn movie. I wish more Asian American filmmakers would adopt EO's co-director Daniel Kwan's philosophy on filmmaking. He said in an interview that he feared the film didn't have enough to distinguish itself. That's insane. There are more versions of Michelle Yeoh in here than her entire movie career. But that means Daniel's constantly looking for ways to ensure his films aren't just about one thing, or made for one demographic. Look, not every Asian-led Hollywood production needs to be as coked up on ginseng as EO. But at the very least, when there's a rare chance to tell an Asian story on a global platform, maybe it should emphasize what life could be rather than what life already is for so many of us grappling with identity and fitting in. One of the stars of EO, the inimitable Ke Huy Quan, has openly stated that he returned to acting after 20 years because of Crazy Rich Asians. But it wasn't the story, the characters, or the cinematography that inspired him. It was the simple fact that a Hollywood movie with so many Asian faces could make so much money. I know, right? Typical Asian. But he deserves more from Hollywood's Asian productions. I think we all do. We deserve to see ourselves represented on screen as more than just victims or pre-packaged cliches. I know what some folks are thinking. Go watch Parasite. Go watch that critically acclaimed foreign movie in which Asians played every role. Why does Hollywood need to accommodate anyone? It doesn't. But as long as Hollywood wants to sell their stories to a diverse crowd, it should at least be aware that minorities crave a different kind of representation. We don't just want to be seen and celebrated within the context of our ethnic roots. We want to be seen and celebrated in a multicultural setting. In conclusion, could we have an Asian immigrant family in a heist movie? Please. That's it from me. Thank you for watching.